Human trafficking. It's a term we've all heard, but do we really understand what it means and how it could impact our businesses? As HR professionals, we are responsible for creating safe and ethical workplaces for staff and the people they interact with. This video covers key elements of human trafficking prevention training for California workplaces, as mandated by Senate Bill 970 and Assembly Bill 2034. After watching this video, you will be able to address a training topic that's not just important for compliance, but critical for workplace safety. Why is human trafficking training important for workplaces? Human trafficking prevention training helps raise awareness, empowers employees to recognize signs of trafficking, and fosters a culture of ethical conduct that helps prevent exploitation and protects vulnerable individuals, while also mitigating legal and reputational risks for your organization. Now, you might be thinking, but this doesn't affect my business, right? Well, the truth is that human trafficking can touch any industry. From healthcare to hospitality, construction to agriculture, finance to domestic work. Most sectors are not immune. As of 2023, California accounts for 13% of human trafficking cases and trafficked people in the United States. If your employees come in physical contact with customers, clients, patients, domestic workers, or the public, then they are likely to interact or encounter victims of human trafficking. Let's start with basic definitions. Human trafficking is the use of force, fraud, or coercion to obtain some type of labor or commercial sex act. It's modern-day slavery, and yes, it happens right here in California. There are two main types of human trafficking. One is labor trafficking. Labor trafficking involves forcing people to work in inhumane conditions with little or no pay. The other is sex trafficking. Sex trafficking is when adults are coerced or children are exploited for commercial sex acts. Both labor and sexual human trafficking share some common characteristics. These characteristics are control, manipulation, and exploitation of vulnerable individuals. Human trafficking is a $150 billion industry. That's reality, not a myth. Let's bust some myths, shall we? Myth number 1. Trafficking always involves crossing borders. The reality is that it can happen within a single city or even a single building. Myth number 2. Only women and girls are victims. The reality is that anyone can be a victim, regardless of age, gender, or background. Myth number 3. Victims always look distressed or abused. The reality is that many victims may appear normal on the surface. So how does this affect your business? Human trafficking can damage your company's reputation, lead to legal liabilities, create unsafe working conditions, undermine fair competition. For example, the demand for sex trafficking starts with people who buy sex, and those people may work for you. That's why the state of California requires most workplaces to provide employee training on this topic as a proactive step to reduce human trafficking. Let's talk about who's most vulnerable. Employees should keep an eye out for individuals with unstable living situations, people with substance abuse issues, undocumented workers, those with limited English proficiency, runaway and homeless youth. Now, what red flags should employees look for? Some common ones are an employee who seems fearful, anxious, or submissive. Someone who lacks control over their own identification documents. A worker who lives with their employer or in poor conditions. Signs of physical abuse or malnourishment. An individual who's rarely allowed to speak for themselves. Remember, the presence of one or two of these signs doesn't automatically mean trafficking is occurring, but it should prompt further investigation. If a member of your team suspects human trafficking, what should they do? 3 things they should consider are: document their observations, report their concerns to their supervisor or the HR department, contact local law enforcement or the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888. They should avoid trying to intervene directly for their safety. They should leave that to the professionals. Education is a powerful tool. As HR professionals, you're on the front lines of creating safe, ethical workplaces. By training your team to stay vigilant and on how to respond appropriately, you can play a critical role in combating human trafficking. Subscribe to our channel and share this video with your HR team if you found it helpful. Remember, workplace safety is a shared responsibility. Stay informed, stay prepared, and stay safe. To learn more about California human trafficking prevention training, visit viewbiz.com. Thanks for watching.